Hi guys, this is Matt Shore coming to you from schorrmanor, and if you're wondering, yes, that is a skeleton over my shoulder. Tentatively named Bruce Jr., named on my son, is what it is. But anyway, I thought that I would share some tips on pumpkin carving for this year, let you in on the process of the pumpkin that I'm going to be carving for this year's Halloween, provide some tips and knowledge that I have gleaned over the years. I am by no means an expert, and there are artists out there who are much more talented than me, but I feel like I've gotten a pretty decent feel for it, and if I can provide some information that you find helpful, then hey, awesome. So I'll start things off by the pumpkin that I'm going to be using this year. This particular model, as you can see, came from Walmart. This is the simple Celebrate Halloween Craft pumpkin. You can also get pumpkins like this. This is a faux pumpkin. You can get them at any craft store. They have ones at Lowe's, probably some other outlets out there I'm not aware of. You know, if you've got a local store that you want to support, that is awesome. I'm all for that. But if you're just looking for something to carve like me, this is a good one to use. Now, if you want to use a real pumpkin, the tips that I'll be providing are this works for both. You can use it for both faux pumpkins and for real pumpkins. So this will be beneficial to everybody out there. Before we dive in, I just wanted to show you some of the ones that I've done already, just to give you I don't know, think of this as a resume so you can decide if you think I have any idea what I'm talking about. This particular pumpkin, you can probably tell that's Spider-Man. This one's a little bit trickier when it's not lit up, but if you can tell, that is the Green Arrow. There we have a Ninja Turtle. And there, once again, a little easier if it's lit up, but that is Doctor Who, specifically the 10th Doctor, for those who know, that's my doctor. We have the Ghostbusters logo, Mr. Spock from Star Trek, Iron Man, Bender from Futurama. Then finally, you can't quite see them, but we have Mater and Jurassic Park's logo. That one was for my wife, who really likes it. So these are just the ones that I have done over the years. Like I said, there are people more talented than me, but I like to think I can hold my own if I'm provided with some good tools to work with. Speaking of tools, this is what I'm going to be working with for this pumpkin. I've used these for several years now, and just for the record, if you use either a faux pumpkin or a real pumpkin, these are effective on both models, so to speak. Also, if you're going for a simple pumpkin, incidentally, just like a traditional, triangle eyes and just a grin, I still recommend these because they are much safer than using like a kitchen knife. And they're also very affordable. You can, again, find these at just about any store. I know they're at Walmart. You can also find them at various grocery stores and other outlets out there. And they're very inexpensive. I mean, less than $10, probably even closer to like $5 or $6, honestly. So it will not be a huge investment. And they last a long time. I've had these probably about 10 years, and they're still every bit as effective. So yeah, definitely recommend these tools. So to start with, if you're like me and you're not super talented when it comes to coming up with a stencil, I have to go find my own. You have to go and scour the net and find what you want. This year, for obvious reasons, Beetlejuice seemed like a good one to go with. So this is the one that I have. This is the one I will be using. And if you're wondering where to find stencils like this particular one came from orangeandblackpumpkins.com. Very good site to find pumpkin stencils. There are plenty of sites out there, though. So yeah, it's very easy these days, thanks to the internet, to find just about any stencil for any character that you might need. So with that out of the way, let's get started to this process. Okay, so we have started into the first step of the process, and that is applying our stencil to the pumpkin. So to do this is pretty straightforward. You can probably tell. You just tape it as closely to the pumpkin as you can. You're going to want to get all the sides, the corners, all around, just to try to get it as flat as you can. Obviously, you're not going to get it perfectly flat when you go with a straight sheet of paper onto a rounded pumpkin. Physics are what they are, but get it as close as you can. And then you're going to take your little poking tool, bring this up so it's in focus. I'll do my best here. Camera's not really working with me, but let's pull it out here. There you can see it. And you're going to take this, I'm gonna come as close as I can, and basically just kind of poke little bitty holes all throughout and kind of make them good and deep so that when you look at them, you'll be able to see them. One thing I'll just go ahead and mention, this is the poking tool that came with my carving kit. If you don't have this, it's perfectly fine. This is a very low-tech project. So, you know, if you don't have a poking tool that came with your carving kit, wherever you got it, you can use anything for this. So like a pencil or a pen work very, very well. They're perfect substitutes. The key is to just make sure that you poke holes all throughout the stencil, every single line, and this can be time consuming, but it's worth it in the end. Just make sure you get all of this so that you can then have a good, perfect kind of connect the dots image of this stencil remaining on the pumpkin when you remove this. Okay, so the hole punching is finished. As you can see, it's quite an extensive endeavor. Like I said earlier, you want to make sure that you get all your holes, you know, about really about a 1/4 inch, between a 1/4 and a 1/2 inch apart, depending on how detailed your stencil is going to be. But like I said, make sure that you get all the lines so that you can transfer this directly to the pumpkin. And give me just a moment and we will take this off. Okay, voila, the stencil is removed. Now, I know several people who will actually start carving at this point, but I like to actually go back in with a pen and retrace the stencil. This just helps me to ensure that I carve it exactly the way it is in the original. It's an extra step. If you feel confident enough with your stencil, you don't have to do this, but it's something that I just do for my own peace of mind. So just a second and you will see that right over here. All right, there we go. You can see all the line drawings in there. Like I said, if you have a simpler stencil and you want to skip this step, you're more than welcome to. It's not something that is actually described by other instructions that I have seen. It's just something that I started doing on my own because, especially with more intricate carvings like this one, it allows me to just kind of avoid some mistakes. For instance, so you can probably see right here where I kind of messed up a line there, but the thing is, I can cut around that because now I know that that mistake is there and how to work with it. Had I made that mistake while carving, then that was kind of permanent. So that illustrates right there why I got into the habit of tracing and drawing out the actual stencil itself. So all that's left now is to actually carve it. One note before I get started, because this is definitely something you'll want to make sure whenever you start carving, you're going to want to start carving like toward the middle. So like cut like this little piece right here out in this case, and then start working your way out. This is because as you start carving, you're going to have less and less surface area that the pumpkin, like, this is hard to describe without getting too sciencey, but at least I don't know how to. But essentially, when there's a whole lot of pumpkin flesh, it is much, much stronger. And as you start taking different bits of it away in the form of your stencil, you're gonna start to weaken it. And so if you get all the outside weak and then go in and start carving the middle, you risk damaging the surface area of your pumpkins. So yeah, I recommend, and I am quite certain a lot of other carvers out there will recommend, start toward the middle and then just start working your way out. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to start like with this little part of BJ's mouth, and then just start working out toward this one, this little part here, this here cheeks, then eyes, and just keep on going. And the hair will probably be the last, since that'll be the biggest part. And once we're done there, we will see how he looks. All right, so here's just a quick update to give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I say start in the middle and work your way out. So you can see here I started with the center part of the stencil and just little bits at a time. And now that I've got those little ones, middle ones I should say, finished up, I'll start moving out toward the edges. Get all of these, this bottom one here. The very last one I do will probably be this very enormous piece here. But just wanted to give a quick little update so you could get a decent feel for what it looks like when you start in the middle and work your way out. All right, just another check-in where you can see where I've done the outside edges. Like I said, always good start in the middle, work your way out. So that's what I'm doing. So all that's left now is this one little patch here, and then this big monstrosity over here. So that's probably going to take a little bit of finagling, but we'll get that done, and Beetlejuice will be ready to shine. And he is carved. And first glance, everything looks pretty good. So let's just go find a light, put him in the dark, and let's see how this guy looks. Okay, moment of truth here, folks. So let's summon this demon the way that you should. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. It's showtime, right? Doesn't look too bad. I am hardly the Bob Ross of pumpkin carving, but I like to think if you give me a good stencil and the right tools that I can do a decent job. So this is Beetlejuice. For 2024, Beetlejuice the pumpkin will be gracing the lawn of schorrmanor. So if you happen to be in our neighborhood, keep an eye out for him. So yeah, this pretty much concludes the video on some pumpkin carving 101. If you have any questions you think I might be able to answer, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer as best I can anyway. If you have any suggestions for other people that they might follow, hey, by all means. Any links you want to share to anyone else that can also provide insight. And I mean, hey, honestly, if you want to come in and tell me that I'm doing it wrong, by all means, because really, I just want to be able to get people to know that pumpkin carving is something really anyone can do, you know, even something a little bit elaborate like this. We all have the capacity to create art in any way, and pumpkin carving is one way that I enjoy doing it. And, you know, if it's something you'd like to do, then you should do it as well. So just anything I can do to help encourage you and anyone else out there who might be looking to carve a pumpkin but just need an extra nudge or whatever, if I can do that anyway, hey, awesome. But whatever you do, just do it with some love, do it with some spookiness, and we'll close out with, as always, right here, happy haunting.